Right then, hello, hello, hello. How are you doing? How is everybody? It's another Saturday. It is November 26th. We've just had Thanksgiving. Well, the Americans did. I'm British. I'm all good. But yes, thank you very much, Mr. MICRØ, giving us a wave. So, hello everybody. Welcome back to another Saturday Skin Showcase. I'm your host Hedge, along with my co-host right here, Mr. MICRØ. We have a few groups of skins to look at today, which we'll review from both a gameplay and a Steam market investment point of view. First, we'll take a look at this week's Rust item store rotation, and we'll follow that up with a look at any workshop submissions from the week, which could be viewed as continuations of existing sets. We hope that this information will properly prepare us to make informed investment decisions about both upcoming and existing Steam market items. If you have any insights of your own that you'd like to share, please feel free to contribute to the discussion via our Twitch chat during the stream, of course. Or we'll welcome you to join our investor community Discord, which is linked below in the description. Sounds good? So, Mr. MICRØ, how are you doing there in your ever so lovely chair?
Doing fine, thanks. Another beautiful day out here. Some nice skins on the stage here today to look at.
Nice little breeze, clear sky, sort of. Let's get started then. Shall we discuss the tempered garage door? Let's get a little zoomy over there. So, Mr. Emilio Frito, we're starting to see a bit of a pristine deployable collection from you. Oh, look at that shine. How about we make it nighttime and let's get a good view of you during the night. It's ever so dark, but the garage door remains bright. So not too long ago we had the single sheet metal door come out. It was the $3.99 tempered sheet metal door, and we were quite surprised to see the arrival of that. But now it's starting to seem that Mr. Emilio is going to be making deployables, and we'll probably be seeing them maybe every week, maybe every other week. We'll see. He's been very successful in getting these instantly accepted. And if you remember earlier this year, we were seeing some fairly pricey skins being accepted in a collection, that being the Black Gold collection. And what I'm kind of considering here is, well, we all know what Temper Collection is. It's been around since 2016. Seen newer collection pieces being accepted pretty much every single year. But only now are we starting to see the deployables being accepted. So, Mr. MICRØ, I was kind of talking a point with you earlier today about how are we seeing a series of fairly pricey deployable skins coming out, much like what we saw with the Black Gold collection. We're talking deployable skins worth maybe between $4 to $5, and they see it in a higher regard, I guess you could say. They probably know, yeah, surely this will sell at a higher price. People definitely want to buy into that. What's your opinion on that?
Almost like there's I can't say that we've seen enough of this yet to happen, but I guess you could maybe start to see the formings of a theory here that they're leaning towards separating into a bit of a premium range, having a premium offering as well as the more typical commonplace prices that we have seen over the years. Have been a number of departures from that lately with some higher priced and high desirability items that I would call have been priced in sort of a premium kind of way. So we'll have to wait and see if this is a trend that keeps up, if there will be continued to be, some items on a weekly basis included in these sets considered to be premiums, but we don't know yet. We don't have enough information or enough data to establish a trend yet. But it certainly is an interesting thought.
Would you like to walk in front of it? I wonder if that's going to give away your position. I think it all glows, MICRØ. I don't think you've got a good job there in being able to hide in front of it. But yeah, not everybody applies the design theory. There's no glowing on the sides either. I liked what we saw with the Halloween garage door skin not too long ago, where we saw an extra bit of detail to the sides. He's up all night, dancing always and forever.
Hey, one thing you might think to yourself when you're looking at garage door skins is, do they give off any kind of glow when they're rolled up?
Oh,
Does the roller itself have any glow? And that's actually a pretty good navigational aid.
you might need to turn off the lights just to be sure, so I can do that myself.
Okay.
Did you pay the bill? So, it actually, I think it ever so slightly does. Am I correct to sit there and say that? Do you see that little bit there at the bottom?
I do see that.
Yeah. So it does ever so slightly. Could you bring down the garage door so I can see it in pitch black? And then we'll just...
It does glow ever so slightly. I think that's actually a pretty nice glow. Enough to let you see it. And I'm talking about the roller now.
Yes.
Enough to let you see it, but not like really catching your eye too much.
And if you...
Pretty functional.
Yes, you can still see it. You can still see the roller is ever so slightly bright. So, yeah. Okay, that is definitely an intended thing. So good job there, Mr. Emilio Frito. Let's see what comes out next. Maybe an armored door, but we'll have more to discuss about that in a bit. Because what do we have next to show off, Mr. MICRØ? Why, it's... well, we can't see it at the moment. Could you turn the lights back on as well?
Sure.
We have the No Mercy armored door. Yes, Mr. Bad Trip is back with the No Mercy collection. What we have right here is a $3 No Mercy armored door. And we also have it on the other side. Yes, very cool, very nice. Now this does not glow. Yes. Very nice reflection on his little logo. Oh, I went a bit too close. Very nice little shine here on his logo with the skull and the wings. Do you know what that's meant to represent? I never did ask that. Just a cool logo?
I don't know if it has a particular meaning. I mean, it's certainly iconic. In fact, I believe there's been mouse pads made with the No Mercy logo. I mean, there's actual like merch for the game that's done with the No Mercy stuff. So it's a very iconic and identifiable badge or logo that he's come up with. But I don't know if there's symbolism or meaning behind it. I mean, it would be a good question to ask him if we ever do sit down and chat someday.
It would be nice to do that. We'll see what we can do. Yes, get a good look at all the shine in the dusk sky as it dawns down, and then yeah, as it becomes daylight, looking very good. Right, so MICRØ, there is a bit of a discussion real quickly to talk about with these armored doors, because where are you? I'm trying to find you. Oh, there you are. If you want to stand next to the door, and now we can discuss, because there is a batch of quality of life updates coming out next month for the December wipe day. And we've been seeing the commits. We've already been talking about this as well. The armoured doors and the double armoured doors are getting a buff. They're going from 800 health to 1000 health. Now, is this really going to push for people to wanting to use the armoured doors more? Because, of course, the main like opponent, I guess you could say, in terms of what door you want to put down would be the garage door. In terms of, well, health, because the garage door has, what, 600? Compared to what the armored door used to have was 800. But in terms of convenience, in terms of what can fit through that, I mean, you can fit vehicles and whatnot through that as well.
There's a couple different parameters or attributes that you might consider when building a base and which doors to place. Certainly, garage doors are a lot more accessible because you get the blueprints earlier in your progression through the tech tree. They're cheaper to make. They fit more things through them, like cars and minicopters and whatnot. But crucially, they're not the strongest thing that's available. I mean, if you really want to build a secure base, you need the strongest materials possible. And as you said, the durability of the garage door is 600, and the armored door is currently 800, but we know soon is the change coming to 1000. That's going to increase raid costs and definitely slightly change the mathematics behind raiding a base. So you have to balance ease of use. If your base is loaded with garage doors, they're not really convenient to walk through because you have to open and close them and there's a delay there. But armored doors are also very expensive. If you get an armored door, it may be from a crate. Maybe you do Bradley or a cargo or something. You get an armored door. That's nice. You chuck it up on the wall and be done with it. But if you want to learn that, it's 500 scrap. If you want to craft it, that's 5 gears and a bunch of high qual. So now you're making economic decisions balanced against making high qual, tier 3 head and chest plate, or armoring up your base with high qual, or building guns or something. Maybe you're a snowballer. Maybe you just get that stuff from fighting. But there's a lot of different factors that go into the equation, and you have to take all of those into consideration when not only building a base, but designing skins or choosing to accept skins. If nobody's using armored doors because they're too hard to get and too expensive to make, well, then we're going to have to do something to change that desirability factor. Maybe it's increase their protection cost. Maybe it's lower their crafting cost. Maybe they increase the stats with the frequency where they drop. There's a lot of ways to tweak that, but we're seeing that now with this buff to 1,000 health. Certainly going to generate some interest in people using them, I hope. And, well, I've lost count how many armored doors we've had this year. It's above 10. I mean,
12.
It's got to be 12, 13, yeah, something
12.
like that. So, will we see some double armored doors coming soon? Only can tell. I mean, or only can wait and see.
Well,
no telling for
Milio! Well, I mean, Trip's probably got a good incentive to try and get the double doors next week as well. Looking at the workshop submissions next week is going to be very interesting. So, I was expecting a nudge, nudge, wink, wink from Face Punch to release an armored door or two with the update, but they did it before. So maybe we're still going to see another one next week as well. But then you also mentioned with so many armored doors out this year, a ridiculous amount when you compare it to 2021, 2020 and 2019. Yeah, they haven't been the best of investments and it's been very awkward. Let's see if the demand does increase with these updates. So, and it's not just armored doors, there's plenty of other things that are going to be affected with these potential updates. Should we save that discussion for later on though, Mr. MICRØ?
Absolutely.
Very well then. So, shall we move on to the last deployable of this Rustore rotation? Mr. MICRØ, set your eyes upon the floor, for it is the Toxic Wolf Sleeping Bag, which we discussed, 2 weeks ago? Hey! Mm-hmm. So, well done, Mr. Zinc. Your Toxic Wolf collection continues with a very gruesome, murky-looking sleeping bag. Oh, damn it. I spilt my nuclear sewage all over the sleeping bag. Guess I'll just have to wipe it and sleep in it anyway. So, if we could just get a good look at this at night. Oh, dusk time. Stands out very nicely. This doesn't glow, though, does it? No.
Mr. Here, let me grab the lights real quick, just for show.
It reflects nicely, but it does not glow. But hey, you tell me another sleeping bag that has that same colour scheme, that has radioactive waste all over it. You could do a trap base and cover your whole floor in this and trap people to walk in there. And you'd be like, ha 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 ha, now you're going to die a very slow and painful death. No, I'm joking. But it is a fun design from a collection that is slowly getting more and more pieces being accepted. Mr. Zinc, we've noticed you tried to make tier 3 armor before. We noticed you tried to make a door before. But it looks like it's starting off with the sleeping bag in terms of deployables. Let's see what you do next. You know what? Toxic Wolf large box storages, that wouldn't be a bad shout. I think that would look very cool. So, I like the teeth. I like all of the saliva being what is the nuclear waste. Done a very good job there. It's selling very nicely. Don't. You're gonna get superpowers now.
It's very comfortable on my feet. I can tell you that much.
Or you're gonna get very, very sick. So, Mr. MICRØ, if you're so eager to stand in position, how about you start whipping out those weapons? That sounded very odd. Let's just...
I'll go stand over here and on the stage over here.
So, what do I have in my hands? It is the Gothic Warlord AK-47, a very strange skin to see because this was submitted 2 months ago. Yes, we have broken the trend of only seeing a batch of early skins being picked. This skin is extra late. So, Mr. Novarom, congratulations. Your continuation of the Gothic Warlord collection finally happens. He got his first 2 skins being accepted, that being the tools. And after, well, a fair few months, he's tried to get more and more skins being accepted. Didn't happen, unfortunately, until now. So, let me just point out to you, this aim sight does not glow in the dark. The red reflects the light very, very nicely, but the very second I'm in pitch black, it's all gone. So, nothing reflects, nothing glows, and if I turn it back on to daytime, there we go, there's the lights, haha. So, let's just get a good look up close, get the lights right above me, nice and shiny, get a good look at the nice texture bump mapping now. Ooh, looking very nice as it all reflects the light. Aim, shoot, helpful red aim sight, always helpful. You can't have a glow-in-the-dark aim sight, so red's good enough. But any colour, really. So as long as it stands out nicely, in most environments, that red aim sight is going to be helpful. So, Mr. MICRØ, strike a pose. Let's get a good look at you. So, MICRØ...
I noticed when I was looking into workshop for this, this is, he submitted this, like you said, back in mid-September or early September, and he submitted quite a few skins since then. And, unfortunately for him, the AK was skipped. He did submit 2 versions, and incidentally, there was a stockless version and this one with the stock, and of course, this is the one that was accepted. But just this past week, he posted the tier 3 chest and head, and I have to wonder if that didn't trigger an interest and Face Punch to say, well, hey, we do actually really like this collection. Let's, before we go move on with the armor, let's go back and make sure we have all the guns we want. So
it very well could happen.
Yeah, I have no way of knowing, but that I just thought it was interesting that this was going back 2 months now to grab this out of the workshop queue, and meanwhile we have the chest and faceplate on the workshop currently. So it's, I don't know, if he accepted this week, I wouldn't be shocked at all to see the tier 3 get accepted, but I'm not making any predictions there. I'm just saying that I could easily see that.
Because I always have this hypothesis that they like to hold back some skins for the wipe days. I think December would be fairly interesting in terms of what we have potentially coming up. Like, over the past few weeks, we've shown off a whole bunch of clothing and armour collections. We've shown off various weapons. Remember the pump shotguns, Mr. MICRØ? So, we got a whole bunch of deployables. We've seen a bunch of double doors, for example, armoured doors, garage doors, you name it. There's a lot of very interesting collections that haven't been accepted so far, but I wouldn't be surprised in potentially being held back and being put out for the White Day rotation store. Because what usually happens with a White Day is that's when you get the most people playing out of the whole month. Therefore, if you know the most people that are going to be playing in a month are going to be playing during that week, you'd probably want to put out the skins you think would sell the absolute best to get the best optimal profits. Make sense? So the very best potential in making sales would be probably best for the first week, the Wipe Day week. Simple as that. I don't know what else to explain. Was that clear to you, Mr. MICRØ?
It was, and just for no other reason than I have the figures right here. The player counts peaked at 110,000 today, and that was only 2 hours ago. So right now there's 107,000 online. So it actually feels like pretty high pop right now.
And as we get closer and closer to Christmas, we'll start seeing a lot more people getting time off from school, work, playing more games, playing more Rust, and Rust skin prices going up. We hope. It should. Right, Mr. MICRØ, shall we move on to the Bangassar? Unless you have any other questions to say in regards to the... No, all good.
I'm good to go. Let's show off this guy.
Right then, so this is the 6th SAR skin in the past 6 weeks. Let's get that moan out of the way. I am surprised to have seen this being accepted in terms of 6 SAR skins in a row. But the Banger collection, it's got a soft place in my heart. I think it looks a nice, fun, goofy that is perfectly fine for Rust. You know, if you're gonna allow it, have it creative in a way like this. I'm trying to make it... Oh, there you go. So yes, no glow, nothing like that. Mr. Michael, congratulations in the next skin in your collection. I have fallen off and I can't get up. Send help, MICRØ! Oh, there you go. So let's just get this back up. So the aim sight does not reflect. Come on, light. Why isn't this working? There you go. It's doing it the wrong way round. So yeah, not a super helpful aim sight colour, but it does still stand out nice enough. But still, just to have a little bit of different colour on the tip goes a long way. Shooty shooty. Bang bang, as it says right there. Give it a good reload. And let's go take a look at Mr. MICRØ. Now, MICRØ, with my observation, don't worry, you don't need to offer too much of an insight. I've already said the answer. This isn't selling that well, which is a bit of a problem. But it's not too much of a surprise because we've just had 6 R skins in a row for these past 6 Rust rotations. And literally just last week, we had Charitable Rust. Thank you to everybody that bought skins or donated or took part in the event. Thank you very much. We had fun, didn't we, Mr. MICRØ? But we literally just had a very cool looking, very colourful $5 SAR skin last week. It really does surprise me this was accepted this week, literally just after that. So far, this only has about 3,000 to 4,000 sales, and it doesn't really surprise me, because if you just went and bought a $5 SAR skin, would you really want to go ahead and buy another one literally a week after? You tell me. So, it's SAR skins on a very awkward place at the moment, because we're just getting far too many of them out in such a short amount of time. I think it needs room to breathe. I think we need to lay off the SAR skins for a while. But in terms of the design, the Banger collection, Mr. Michael, I think you've done a very nice job as per usual. I like the little bullet shooting off on the side. It always looks extra fun. I like the wacky sound effects like the boom and the bang and whatnot. It's a fun skin, but I'm upset that it's come out at just the wrong time because I don't think it's getting as much love as it probably would do if it came out any other time of the year. Cool skin, nice looking, but unfortunately far too many SAR skins in such a short amount of time. Mr. MICRØ, any words?
I think it's a cool skin. I think the comic-ish style art is fun and is interesting. I've seen a few comparisons rating this against the other guns in the series. I think that's sort of an individual opinion you have to take yourself. I think they're all pretty cool. So good on him. Another cool one for the set. I definitely agree with you in terms of the SAR situation we have going on, but remember there's a lot of balance changes going on with weapons right now. Maybe Face Punch has some things planned for the future. I don't know. Maybe they anticipate generating more demand or just having it change spots in the meta. So maybe they're getting as many in as they can before they kill it. I have no idea, and I don't want. I shouldn't even say things like that. I don't want to plant any ideas. I honestly, Chad, I have no idea what's coming in terms of SAR adjustments, if there are any at all. But it certainly is a popular gun right now, very accessible gun, affordable gun. So I think it's nice for everyone to have the option to buy skins. And sometimes, you know, not every skin can be a premium skin. So maybe this one's a little bit more affordable, or I don't know.
Yeah, it's all good, but there's only so much you can say. I mean, shall we just move on to the next one, do you reckon?
Let's do it.
Very well. I don't think you're going to need a beard anymore. It's a good thing you shaved, because what do we have It is.
We're gonna do a whole change up here. Gonna
Whoa.
put on this Paisely bandana, and I'm just gonna pair it with my good old loot leader set here. We have some few other things we could show it with, but it definitely works good with the subdued sort of earth tone fit, and I think it's a pretty cool look.
You can't tell, but he's smiling under there.
Yeah, I am. Sure am.
So we don't see many of these, do we? Bandana skins. On average, we only get about 2 a year, and well, it's number 2. Earlier this year, we had the Dragon Rage bandana. When times were good, it was selling very nicely. At the moment, I don't think it's doing too good. It was doing better. But Dragon Rage had the benefit of being part of a collection that did have quite a lot of demand earlier this year. This bandana is fully independent. It did come out with a poncho, but it wasn't accepted. But this is Mr. Dark Schneider's first marketable skin to be accepted. He was the skin creator who created the bow skin that was given out as a Twitch drop last week. So good job there, buddy, and congratulations on your first skin. However, there is a thing that we need to quickly discuss with this bandana. There was a licensing issue with this, but it's been resolved. The skin has been updated. If you are to look ever so closely in the patterns and whatnot, it has all these rust symbols to make it unique in its design. So yes, this skin has been updated and changed. There should not be any more issues or potential problems with that. So yeah, bandana skins. They are what I believe to be reliable, but they're not really going to go insanely up in price. They are, because we don't really see many of them, it's just a matter of, well, there's not really much to look toward. I guess I'll just buy that one. It's kind of awkward to sit there and say that, but it's realistic. There's a few standout ones, and then there's the few that don't really ever go up in price that much, and when times are bad, they go in the negative. So if you're considering, maybe I should buy this, it's going to be easy money, I'll sit there and say, yeah, it'll probably be easy penny profits or whatnot. Just being realistic. But bandanas tend to be very reliable if you at least want to put your money towards something that's going to maintain its price. So, it's cool. Good job, Mr. Dark Schneider. Mr. MICRØ, did you say you thought of potential other things to pair up with it? I think you've got a good style with it already.
Yeah, well, we have some workshop continuations. I thought that, well, it's the one set from Robstraw I want to show, and we'll get to that point. The only other thing I wanted to point out was, you observed the update to the Paisely textures, and then there's also that sort of defining feature of the skin, that gold band that goes across the nose part. That had a little bit of a redesign as well, and I think for most people, actually, probably wouldn't even notice that there was a change to it or anything. But we've got our finger on the pulse, and we saw this sort of unfold the other day, and the end result here is a nice, clean-looking bandana that is a nice pairing with things that have that darker tones in the skins. I call them earth tones. So one of those being. Well, I guess we should just jump right into it, huh? Well, no, we should. We have one more set to show here for the week, skins of the week, and then we'll continue on with the bandana. I'll revisit that in a minute here once we get to that point.
So, do you want to quick change of clothes?
I'm
going
to use a new technique this week. I'm going to jump in my locker here and grab some skins out of there.
So, gentlemen, we've been waiting for a long time, and lo and behold, look what we see. It's a new clothing and armor collection, the Tiki Collection Tier 3. Right, let's get a good look at this. Congratulations to Mr. Igor. We have a new collection to look forward to. Long did we wait for the potential pixel. Long did we wait for the potential JPEG. Long did we wait for the potential apostate. They didn't appear. Instead, new collection! So, these past few weeks, we've been waiting and waiting and waiting to see if we see any continuations of existing clothing and armor collections. And no. No. But again, remember what I said in regards to December, the White Day? I'm led to believe that next Thursday is going to have something fairly interesting in terms of, well, if they want to make the best potential profits, they're going to want to hold back the things that are going to likely sell a lot better during a White Day. So, yeah. not surprised to see something being put out that's completely brand new now, so that I'm fine with that. So, yes, I'm not sure what to think of it because it's not like just one colour or anything. It's more of a gimmick to what it is, which is fine. Nothing wrong with that. People would still invest into it if we see Tier 2 and a hoodie and pants. It's a matter of we need to keep an eye out on the workshop this Monday and Tuesday and see if Mr. Igor decides to immediately continue the collection. Like, what would you envision for the hoodie and the pants? That's the one thing I'm not super sure with. I could see Tier 2 being fairly easy to do. It's just the hoodie and the pants I can't seem to get my head wrapped around. But Mr. MICRØ, you've had a bit of a brainstorm and you thought, I think I know what could go well with this Tier 3.
Well, we don't know. We don't know what he's got in mind for the hoodie and pants. If there is something like tiki themed, I mean, clearly you could come up with Mr. Metatron suggests tribal feathers. I was thinking something like, those grass skirts they wear in Hawaii, like the hula skirts.
Ooh, we could do that. That's perfect.
Yeah, something with grass or like natural fibers, leaves, feathers, something like that. I could totally see some kind of tribal thing, or maybe something with like emulated sort of tattoo inspired patterns, maybe, because I don't know. I just think there's a lot going on with like that culture, and I could definitely see some brainstorms going on with that. And well, this is actually one of those skins that snuck up on me. I saw it in the workshop and it didn't immediately catch my eye. And then only until we started prepping here for this week's showcase and I got to see the skins in person, and there's a lot of detail. There's a lot of actual 3D sculpting that went into this. All the small textures on the surface look great. And like just the concept and the execution here are really clever, I think. That the gold tooth is funny, and like the stylized wood pattern, the little bone through the nose.
It's a big grin. Yeah. Tiki grin. Yeah. Oh, damn, if only you called it Tiki grin. It probably would have sold even more. But hey, it's a cool idea, and it's interesting for where it could potentially go. But Mr. MICRØ, I know you have great fashion sense. You've noticed something, and I thought it was really good. I really want to show it. Mr. MICRØ, show me what you got.
So, Igor had another set, which was one of those things that never really took off, although I think it's actually a pretty cool set, the Nuclear Fanatics set. We talked about this a couple of months ago, I think, when we were prepping for Complete the Sets Week. I've always wanted to see this set get continued. It happens to work really well with this with the color scheme here. I think the blue, yellow, green combo is cool. These are also, this Nuclear Fanatic set was made by Igor, so maybe he has that color palette saved on his PC and he just dipped into it when making this Tiki set. But
could you give us a twirl?
Well, pardon?
Could you give us a quick twirl? Sorry.
Sure. I think, if you're looking for something to use that Tiki set with, maybe you want to go a little crazy, use the yellow and green combo. I don't know. Has some potential there as a pairing. But I have something that's not Igor's hoodie and pants, I think actually works even better, and that is the Nuclear Fanatics set. It just, I don't know. The colors work. The whole theme fits together. I know it wasn't designed to work together, but I thought it was a nice color combination.
What was the hoodie and pants called again?
This is the Conspiracy Nut.
Conspiracy Nut. The colours really do go well with it, so you had a very good keen eye for that. He's got great fashion sense. What did I say? So, look at his smile.
Should we indulge Mr. Metatron and look at it with the festive costume hoodie and pants too?
Yes, if you think you can whip that out real quickly. I own them as well.
I'm pretty sure I have them in my inventory.
If you don't, I can make it. So, yeah. We need to keep an eye out on Monday and Tuesday. Of course, I do my skin checks. Keep an eye out. If he does... Ooh, here we go. I don't think it works as good.
No.
Nah,
I like it.
too many
I
colours.
like it with this conspiracy nut set. I think it looks awesome.
Yeah, I think it works a lot better with the conspiracy nut. With the festive, it was just far too many colours, and it just didn't really blend with any of them. So yeah, not a bad idea. But yeah, with that, it stands out too much. With the conspiracy nut and with the nuclear, it just blended a whole lot nicer. So I guess it's because you have the tier 3 is green, blue, and yellow, and Nuclear Fanatic had yellow and green, and then Conspiracy Net had blue and green. So if you match it up with at least 2 colours, it works all right. So, Mr. MICRØ, that is all of the skins from this Rustor rotation. Should we move on to showing off the skins, the potential continuations from the workshop?
That's a good idea.
And what do we have to begin with?
So I'll lead in with where I left off before on that Paisely Bandana, and I'll show it with this other set we have on the workshop here.
My, what does he have here? Is this what I think it is? The long-awaited, and yes, long-awaited, military hoodie and pants made by Robstar. So, if you don't know, we've already got the tier 3, we've already got the tier 2, and only now have we finally got the military hoodie and pants. Now, if you are confused with what I say, the tier 3 came out last year in 2021, like springtime, close to that. Then the tier 2 came out, obviously with the kilt and whatnot, at the end of 2021. So now with the hoodie and pants that we have here, they've only just appeared now at the end of November in 2022. This collection has taken almost... It's taken over a year just to finally finish, but now we finally have all of the pieces. Mr. Robstar, of course, recently made a version 3 of his lightweight hoodie and pants, so technically speaking, he is competing with himself. We, on the horizon, potentially could see a collection finally finish, whether it's going to be maybe the lightweight collection or the military collection, and let's not rule out Glister as well. You've also potentially still got Apostate to get new pieces. It's got all the pieces on the workshop, they just haven't been accepted. Of course, with this week, we saw a brand new collection appearing, so yes, this is just another contender for us to anticipate. So, yeah, if this hoodie and pants does appear, we know the routine. Everybody's going to quickly jump into it. There's going to be suddenly a massive quick demand to get all the other pieces of the military collection. And it does blend very nicely. It matches really, really nice. I mean, I could see a lot of people potentially wanting to run around in the desert just to blend in. Even in the grass areas. If you went and ran on the grass down there, Mr. MICRØ, show your quick superpowers that you've earned from your Toxic Wolf and Fly. Oh. I think he died. Well, okay, so that was a lovely Saturday skin show. Are you alright down there, Mr. MICRØ?
I'm good. It's just a long run to get into view from that camera perspective you have.
I don't think I don't think it worked as well as I thought it would. You still stand out. But if we were in a desert environment, maybe if you went near those trees and whatnot, where's he gone? Is he gone right below? Is he going to jump back up? Oh, he can fly! He does have powers! So, yes, this is definitely something to keep an eye out for. Obviously, I make quite a big... I make a big point about how the core pieces of clothing and armour are the best things to make profit out of. They have the most demand and they make the best profits. If you invest at just the right time, just when the new pieces appear, you've made great money. But the long time waiting for it to happen is annoying. And we've been waiting on several collections, and they still haven't had their final pieces added. So this is the final piece for all the core pieces of the military collection. Will it happen? We don't know, but we can only hope. So good job there, Mr. Robstar. Shall we move on to the next piece of clothing, Mr. MICRØ?
Well, it sort of works together also with the set. So I'm going to leave the gear I have right here, and I'm just going to drop on the Serpent hide poncho.
So Mr. Snake Eyes returns to his Serpent hide collection. Let's just get that correct. Serpent hide, yes. We have a new poncho skin. Yes, another one. Yes. Oh god. Okay. So yeah, that actually does blend very nicely. Face punch. Take note. Add military clothing with Serpent hoodie. So yeah, I think that's probably the best usage of the theme with the serpent hide. Quite literally a whole bunch of snakeskin all ripped up and stitched together and being a poncho. I think you did a good job there, Mr. Snake Eyes. You thought of a good idea. I mean, everybody wants to make a poncho skin at the moment. They're selling lots.
We were laughing not at anybody. We were just being silly that we're mad with ponchos. We're up to our eyeballs in ponchos right now, and it's like new meta on the workshop. So
Well,
everyone's taking a crack at it, and there's been some great attempts. There's been some really good ones out there, and unfortunately, I'm pretty sure they won't all get in just because we don't want to risk oversaturation. But
it really is.
darn good ones.
It really is a matter of why not. They've sold a lot, and you know, why wouldn't Face Punch not do it? Did you get the idea? Like, I could sit here and say, "Oh no, not another poncho skin! Oh dear, oh no, my investments, ha ha ha." But they're still selling a lot. It's good for the creator. It's good for Face Punch. Why wouldn't they? So if you get that idea, you kind of understand. Oh, okay, yeah, sure, right, that makes sense. So, Snake Eyes, let's see if yours gets accepted. Let's see what happens. And chat, YouTube, let's not forget, all of these workshop skins are currently in the workshop right now. If you want to show your support, please go and vote for those skins. Show your support for the skin, the creator, let Face Punch see it, and maybe, just maybe, it will help them potentially get accepted. That is your Serpent Hide poncho. I didn't... Okay. Do you want to put on the next piece of clothing, Mr. MICRØ?
Yes, I do. I will.
You could just pair it up with this. It's fine.
Yeah, but the thing is, I want to indulge chat's request here. One more thing they asked for, which
Sure
was
thing.
show the Tiki set with the Azul hoodie and pants. And
The Azul hoodie and pants, not a bad shout.
I didn't try it, but here we go. What do you think?
You might want to take the gloves off. Right, not a bad idea. It doesn't necessarily look bad. It kind of works quite well. Like,
The blues match.
it does.
For sure.
It does. Like, it's kind of weird how this can kind of blend well with quite a decent amount of skins in a strange way. Yeah, it's kind of, you could look at it as if it's water, and you know, the Tiki in the mid. I think it works all right.
That's drip right there.
It quite literally is drip. Right then, should we move on to showing off the next potential continuation? Clothing continuation, that is.
Alrighty.
Well, not necessarily clothing, this is armor pieces, because do you remember the Retro Blast collection with the Thompson and the AK? Well, Mr. Jimmick has decided to dabble into making some armor pieces. Mr. MICRØ, please get yourself nice and secure and protected.
I have.
Oh, sorry.
Screwed myself up here. Resorted to just throwing everything on the floor. Please don't look at the mess I've made. And if you do, just understand that sometimes stuff happens and it's necessary to make a mess.
Dare I? Oh, I was going to kind of peek around slowly, but I wasn't rushing you. I was just getting people prepared for a new potential collection to look forward to. Chat, bear witness to the Retro Blast collection. So, I never fully understood the design that it's trying to be, and now with the armor pieces, still, is it meant to be like a race car type of design or something? Give us a nice twirl if you can, Mr. MICRØ. You got the straps.
Have that like bold, like the guns all had this very color block feel to it, and that's a style, you know, like artistic or thematic style. I may have said that in like an accusatory way. I didn't mean it to have a tone to it. I think the guns themselves had a very color block kind of style to them, and this continues that theme along. Something about, I guess you said like superhero. I feel like, yeah, it does kind of feel like that in a way. I can't put my finger on it, but it's definitely got a very bold color palette and you know, that color block theme or feel to it.
So
Is what it is.
it's got multiple colours clearly, but I don't think it really stands out in a bad way. Like when you get the full, if it was to be accepted and we get the full collection out, I think it would stand out very nicely in its own way. Which is kind of weird to say, but I mean, in terms of will people notice you? Probably. You've got so many colours on, you're going to stand out in most environments. But hey, if you want to be seen, if you want to be noticed, well, that looks pretty cool. I don't want to detract from what it is, but like some people really do appreciate fun-looking designs and whatnot, and I think this is fairly interesting. We've had a lot of like black camo this year. We've had full blue with Skull Killer. Why not go for some more actual design ideas? I'd like to see this be accepted and see people actually trying to make patterns and whatnot. Like, okay, we have the Tiki. Tiki's fine, I like Tiki, but I want to see more themes, more designs. This doesn't necessarily have a direct, distinct theme, but it's made its own design itself, and now he's flown off, and now he's a superhero. Okay, look, chat. Look, I'm just going to point this out. We cannot guarantee that if you buy the sleeping bag, it's going to give you superpowers. You could get very, very sick, so just warning. I'm not being serious. Don't. I'm sorry, Zinc. I'm sorry. You might get a lot of sales or not. I'm not sure. If you do, give me part of my commission. Right, so, shall we move on to weapons? Oh no, talking of Mr. Zinc, we have to do something. We made a little oopsie last week, didn't we?
I guess you could call it an oopsie. We got carried away. We got engrossed in conversation, and we ended up skipping something we didn't mean to.
Yes.
So good on that right now.
If you could whip it out. Oh.
I'll go stand over here by the sleeping bag because, you know, they're kind of
let me get this.
With each other, right?
There we go. All right, so let me put it out in my hands as well. Let me go and grab that and various other bits and pieces. So, what do we have in our hands? It is potentially a skin we could see in the near future, much like the sleeping bag. It is the Toxic Wolf Custom SMG. We were supposed to show this off last week. We got a bit carried away, as Mr. MICRØ said. But, incredibly lucky for us, this one wasn't accepted. The sleeping bag was accepted instead. But surely this means this will get accepted for the next roster rotation, right, Mr. Zink? Okay. He wasn't that super. Oh my! I didn't realise you weren't invincible. Oh no!
How much nuclear waste there was over here? There's just or toxic waste.
Right. Well, I'll avoid looking at you whilst you recover. I am very sorry. Yep, nothing glows, no glow in the dark nuclear waste or anything.
You know, it's a good thing I renewed my insurance policy just before the stream here.
Yes, very good.
I did lose my gun though, so I'll just have to go grab a new one.
I'll give you mine. Here you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes
Don't shoot me. Don't shoot me. I'm very, 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 very sorry.
You know what? I should fix my settings now, and you can do that again if you need to. So.
So let me just go back over to it. So right, yes, custom SMGs, not particular.
I have this little feeling about my forehead, though. I don't know. It's like it's got this little stinging feeling.
I don't know what about. I don't see anything. Anyway, so the custom SMG is right here in his hands. Get a good look at that. How about we make it nighttime? Oh yes, looking very good. The nice reflection of the light. Looking nice and grimy. You got the image of the wolf on the side. Move your fingers, Mr. MICRØ. I want us to be able to see the wolf. Oh, if you put it on... Oh, there you go. Splendid. If you put it on your back, could get a good look at that as well.
I can do that.
Oh, he's holding a skull. It's his past self.
Get rid of that.
He does not care for resting in peace. So, let's just get a good look at that wolf. Look at that. Yes. So... My apologies for last week, Mr. Zink. I hope I've done it justice. And well, we proved it kills very well, so I'm pretty sure lots of people are considering buying that. Mr. MICRØ, shall we move on to the Ancient Squiggles hammer? So I'm going to quickly zoop back over to here. I am going to make it daytime. Hello. And I'm going to quickly open this up and find that hammer. put it into my hands and say hello to... Let's just get all this reasonably prepared. The Ancient Squiggles hammer. So, a continuation of the newly set up collection. Last week we saw the Ancient Squiggles rock skin being accepted. And let's just get a good little looky. And at night, what do we see? Nothing. Doesn't glow. Doesn't do anything in particular. Hammer. So yes, when was the last hammer skin to be accepted? Well, that was March. So, still waiting on a new hammer skin. Face punch. Yeah. So, oh, where's that gone? Where'd you put that hammer? Where's that hammer gone? What did you do?
I'm sorry.
So, so yes, pretty much the same texture as what we saw last week with the rock. Nice and lovely, colourful patterns. Not a bad idea for a hammer skin. I think it's got a fairly good chance of being accepted. So this is obviously made by Mr. Legacy. We showed off his rock last week. And here we have the hammer. Gentlemen, I really would like to see a hammer skin being accepted. Oh, look at that little face. Look at that little face there. So, let's turn it to nighttime once again. What does it look like? With the light reflecting in the dark. Looking pretty good. You can see all the bump map, how it stands out. All the little grooves. If you slowly move to the side, Mr. MICRØ. Yes. Get all the light reflecting. Alright, Mr. MICRØ. So, shall we start looking at the... Oh, here we go. Oh, okay. It's another cargo heli texture. The reason why I'm making a bit of a response about this is because there's a lot to show, because Mr. Vlek is really dabbling into the whole idea of doing transparent tools. So, whack, get a good look at this. This is the cargo heli non-transparent version. And then let's just make sure we got the light right above me. Yep, so you got a good look at that. Yep. Then I'll move on to the pickaxe. Chop. And then we'll get a good look at this up close. So, Cargo Heli has been fairly successful over time. We've seen some very interesting skins being submitted, but they haven't been accepted. But, hey, maybe we're looking forward to potentially seeing a new pair of tools being accepted. I can see everything, and a dead MICRØ even through there. And... nope, that's the wrong one. This is the right one. Transparent pickaxe as well. So, yep. And, of course, at night time, what do we see? Night time. Come on, where are you? There we are. I don't deserve to see the light. Nothing glows. Nothing stands out. So, Mr. MICRØ, let's get a good look at you. Mr. MICRØ. So we could probably do a bit of a switch through the various tools. Get a good look at all on the side. Yes. Let's just do a quick pan around to you. Yep. So you got the writing on the side there, a little symbol, see-through mesh. It's all texture, so yes, you can see through that. And you can see the little bits there. Yep, and would you like to quickly show the non-transparent version? Real quick. So, exactly the same thing, but with that texture there instead. So, Mr. MICRØ, anything to say about the transparency? I mean, we've already discussed it these past few weeks, because with the rocket launcher and... there was another one, didn't we? I can't remember it already. But it's been a while since the last cargo heli skin.
Yeah,
Probably not a bad shout. Oh, go on.
I think he's had a lot of attempts at various cargo heli skins. Many of them have had some fairly unique transparency work done, and honestly, I think all of his attempts have been pretty well executed. I like most of this set. I don't think I own any of these, but I regret not buying into it at first because it did actually do really well. The fact that it's cargo heli, you know, it's designed basically from the heli crates, you know, the locked crates that you see on that the helicopter drops or that you find on oil rig or cargo. But the you know, so because it takes from the art style of the game, I think it's one of those skins that just it's so perfect for rust. So I have to believe that over time we're going to continue seeing more additions to this collection. The transparency does kind of break down a little bit when you look through it. I mean, there are no back faces on the mesh.
If you could show it real quick.
Yeah, sure. Um, the illusion does hold up in first person, and even at a glance in third person, it does actually work pretty well. And I think it's a cool job that he did with it. It's nicely done, especially the locker, and the small box, as Mr. Metatron points out. They were really well done, very unique and well thought out designs, well executed, working within the limitations of the models and stuff. The hatchet and pickaxe, I feel like maybe a little bit of a stretch, but it's still a good attempt at making use of that transparency. And if either one of these got in, I wouldn't be surprised. The only thing I could say is that for the hatchet, you'll see the texture's duplicated. It's reused on the other side. So the side that faces me has numbers on it that you could see are correctly viewed from that perspective. And if you look at the other side, they're inverted. But is anyone going to notice that or care? Probably not. I don't think that's going to prevent anyone from buying this. It's a pretty cool skin, and I think we can overlook, the inverted text on the opposite side just because it's, one of those iconic skins or skin sets from the game. So I think he did a great job, and I'm hoping to see one of these get into the store.
Right then, so what do we have next? That is the Zebra Saw. So let's get a move on to that. Zebra Saw, Zebra Collection. We've been fairly successful with that. It's been a while. What was the last Zebra skin that was accepted? Oh, we're going quite far back.
It was a Sap, right? Or
no, it was Thompson, wasn't it? We had a look at the Sap. And it wasn't accepted. That's it. Right, so...
Oh, right, okay.
Yes. What are the odds that we get 7 SAR skins in a row in 7 weeks? Oh, no. So, sorry to talk about that, Mr. Firefly, but it's not looking the best opportune time for a SAR skin to potentially come out. If it does, it probably won't sell very well. We've already discussed that with the Banger SAR, but hey... You've got a fairly unique design with your black and white stripes with a big flash of purple. Stands out very nicely with your aim sight. Give it a good reload. Now if we go to nighttime, what do we see? Nothing stand out, nothing glows. As expected. Back over to here. Let's get to the daytime. Let's give it a good inspection. Looking nice. And Mr. MICRØ, let's go take a look at you. Oh, yes, there we are, Mr. MICRØ. Looking pretty good. Now, I wonder how long it's going to take for him to make clothing and armour. I think the next step for this is to move on ahead and start making some Zebra clothing and armour. I think it couldn't hurt. We've had a lot of weapon skins being submitted this year for this. Even a door. Door couldn't hurt. But, couldn't hurt to give it a shot and try and see if we could get some clothing and armour skins accepted. Wasn't there a hoodie? Am I getting mixed up? No, God, I've got to remember that now. But anyway, let's stick with this SAR skin for now. Not a bad idea, it's just the timing isn't the best. And yes, there's been a lot of acceptances for SAR skins, so a lot of creators might think, oh, surely that's a better chance for me to potentially get accepted. Whoa! What have you got there, Mr. MICRØ? You're upgrading your weapon so that you...
Pimp it out. I have to pimp it out. This is a pretty pimp-looking gun, and it just isn't done right. We don't do it justice if we don't have it all decked out with accessories here.
Imagine the ability to be able to skin your attachments.
I think if he extends this collection, he needs to start with a boonie hat and make it like a pimp hat.
Alright then, let's just get this in the dark. See the light reflecting that. And yeah, looking pretty good. It's the Zebra collection. It's going to look like a Zebra skin. I don't know what else to sit there and say. But hey, I'm sticking with my point where it's just kind of feeling a bit unlucky with the timing. So, Mr. MICRØ, shall we move on to the next weapon? And what might that be? That is the... Let's get to the daytime. Put it in my hands. Bullseye MP5. Made by Mr. GXT Face. Aim down. No special coloration on the aim sight. Shooty shooty. A bang bang. Now we go do it in the night time. Nothing stand out. Nothing glows. Nothing glows. Bullseye collection. You've done pretty alright this year. GXT Face. Nice to see you're continuing. And, well, it's an MP5. I'm a little bit cautious in regards to that. MP5 skins. We recently did just have the Blackout MP5. And that sold very nicely. But Blackout is a very in-demand collection. I cannot really sit there and say this for the Bullseye collection. Sorry to say that, but realistically speaking, in terms of like the financial aspect and whatnot, I really do think the push to buy a whole bunch of those Blackout MP5s was mainly because of it being Blackout, but also the special aim sight. Wait, let's just double check. No, you didn't do the same idea. So I thought that trend, that might start... I thought that might have potentially started a trend, but I've noticed nobody else is trying to cut away the aim sight around the MP5s. Do you reckon it might take a while for other people to consider it, or do you reckon it's just going to be a one-off?
That's a great question. I don't know if all the skin makers follow each other's work so closely. This certainly isn't the type of modification that just, you know, it had everybody chit-chatting. I don't think it was a really that big of a deal in terms of being an advantage, either pay to win or even just a cheeky little you know, slick aspect of the weapon skin. I mean, it's certainly a nice feature, and we saw, you know, if you go way back in the days of glow sights, it's like the skin makers realized it was something they could do, and it was like, that's a no-brainer. That's a great idea. So, you know, it started to become a popular thing for people to do. And, well, eventually we saw how that turned out. They restricted that, you know, and, you know, decided that wasn't going to be accepted down the road. If we saw a true advantage given by that aim sight cutaway, maybe it'd be something to be concerned with, or it may just become meta and everyone's going to be doing it. But I think that was you know, if it's the first one we saw, and if it's not showing up in YouTube videos like this broken new skin with a crazy pay-to-win advantage, I don't know if everyone's going to be so quick to just start modifying the model like that.
Well, it's a cool design. Bullseye, we've seen a fair few attempts for new skins. Haven't been super successful, unfortunately. But GXT Face, if you keep it up, we'll most likely see something being accepted eventually. But yeah, MP5s, I'm a bit cautious about them. I was cautious with the Blackout MP5, for example. Haven't been doing super great ever since that recall update. Got badly affected. People stopped wanting to use it so much, and it's unfortunate, isn't it? Guess you're going to have to sit there and wait for a potential new update to come out for it to really regain... Well, hold on.
we have seen some evidence in the commit logs that there may be a bit of a buff coming to some of the MP5 and other automatic weapons. You know, there's been some discussion about the burst module being included in the LR and the MP5, and that is supposedly going to impact the aim cone, and you know, in other words, it's going to reduce the aim cone. We don't know if it's going to, how exactly that is going to impact things, if it's going to be all weapons that have the burst module installed will have less aim cone, or if it's specifically the MP5 and the LR that will have it. But if that update goes through, which I kind of am expecting at this point based on the language in the commit log, we may see MP5 come back into the meta a little bit. I think it may have an undeserved opinion or perception right now of being not a very effective weapon. I do think that that's because people were used to using it at long ranges, and now the changes have made it more effective at short ranges than long ranges, which is honestly, in my opinion, probably where it should be. But now with this update potentially coming down the road, that could be really interesting to people, and just, you know, be a fascination that, you know, people want to get in and play the game and want to use those weapons. And if they're wanting to use the weapons, maybe they're good. You know, if they are, they're going to be wanting to buy skins for them. So I'm looking at that with some positivity and some optimism, and saying, well, maybe MP5s are going to make a turnaround here if this buff goes through.
Sorry to interject, Mr. MICRØ. I know you. I'm sure you can understand this. Chat, I see the messages going on at the moment. Do not fall for bot comments. Do not fall for bot whispers. I don't privately message you on Twitch for giveaways. That's a bot. It's trying to do a phishing scam on you. Do not fall for it. Just report the accounts. Thank you for warning everybody. Thank you for those that knows what's going on, for warning others and whatnot. Do not fall for it. Those are bots trying to send you a phishing link. So yeah, do you remember that Twitch Rivals phishing link video I told you about, the bots? Well, they're constantly on Twitch at the moment, especially with Rust Twitch. So don't listen to those whispers, just report them immediately. They're trying to send you to a dodgy website that just wants to scrape your Steam details and steal your skins. So do not fall for that. Mr. MICRØ, we won't let that ruin our fun. Let's... Well, let's move on to the El Diablo. Let's move on to the El Diablo. Blah, 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 the big shooty bang bang. What's it called? El Diablo double barrel shotgun, made by Mr. Eros. Shooty. Bang bang. So, if you recall, what was it, last week? Yeah, it was last week. We had the El Diablo Python. Sold very nicely. Lots of people liked it. Didn't hold its value. It went down in price. But quite surprised to see another double barrel shotgun. Well, they've been accepted so much more compared to the other shotgun skins, so I guess that's the idea. I guess people are going to be jumping on to making more of these skins. Yeah, sure, whatever. So we've had, what, 9 double barrel shotgun skins being accepted this year? I kind of don't blame him for thinking this is the safer option to go for, so in that aspect, sure, that's fine. Mr. MICRØ, strike a pose. Mr. Eros has made another El Diablo skin, and is it potentially going to become a new collection? Ooh, that's a good bit of bump mapping there. If you could slowly turn to your right, now slowly turn to your left. Yeah, oh, I'll go back very slowly.
You want me to show off the
yeah,
line?
yeah, so if you pause there, you can see how the texture kind of makes it look like it's what's the word? It's got like grooves inwards, like it's going inward. The bump maps are really good on this. I like it, how it reflects the light. Yes, and as we slowly rise up, it looks like it's going inwards, like as if it's like a cut or a wound, and the fire desperately wants to get out. Look at all of that. Oh, that's a good texture right there. Mr. Eros, you've done a pretty good job there. I like that. I don't like double barrel shotguns that much, but I do like that. So, if this does get accepted, I wonder what you'll be making next. And let's get a good look at that. Let's get it during the night. Do I hear a polar bear? MICRØ, you might want to use this double barrel shotgun to good use. Oh, I zoomed in too much.
Tell me where he's at.
I think he's to our left, or your left right now. So, yeah, looking pretty good. I don't think we've had a double barrel shotgun in about, what, a few weeks? Surely we need a new one. So, not a bad shout. Let's see what happens. But, yes. So if you want to go sort out that polar bear, I will go sort out showing off the next skin. And what might that be? Well, it's going to be...
Did we point out, though, that, you know, slugs, the slug combos...
Well...
has some changes coming too. Not pump, but the slug itself has some.
I wanted to discuss it with the fish pump shotgun, but I guess you can hold that whilst I hold this, and we'll quickly discuss it. So come stand here in the light, so we can get a good look at our skins. So yes, I'm holding a continuation of the beloved fish collection. Very nice, Mr. Shedmon. We got a little fish. Look, they're gonna kiss. Right, that's weird. Stop. So we're seeing another. Where's that polar bear?
I hear him now.
Yeah, he's over there. Look, we can snipe him. We can snipe him. Watch us sniping him. It's so easy. Anyway, stop. So, we're not going to be able to do that so easily in the future now. There was a reason for that, Mr. MICRØ. There is a quality of life update. I'm not sure whose life it's improving. Well, maybe everybody else who was getting shot at by these pump shotguns. Basically, they're nerfing slugs. They're making it so all damage done beyond 40 meters, was it? Is now going down by 25%. So basically, from 40 plus meters, it used to only do 75% damage of the shotgun you're using, correct? Or is it just the slug itself?
Well, yeah. So at range, it's 75%. Well, that's okay. So what we're talking about here is the language that's in the commit log.
Yes.
Right? So they're nerfing it from 75% to 50%.
Yes.
And then they're extending. So here, I'll read it word for word.
I could show it.
Shotgun slug now does 50% damage at 40 meters plus, instead of 75% damage at 80 plus. Right. So they're rebalancing the effectiveness at various ranges, and they've also updated the 100% damage range from 0 to 20 meters, up from 0 to 10 meters. So I read that in kind of a weird way, but to sum that up in another way of saying it, they're extending the 100% damage range from 10 meters to 20 meters, and they're restructuring the way the damage happens at further ranges.
Yes. So basically, it's becoming more powerful in close range, but if you're trying to treat it like a sniper and shooting further away, you're not going to be doing as much damage as you used to. So it's not necessarily a nerf, but a trade-off. They're making it better for close ranges because they don't really want it to be used for shooting across the map or a field, or you get the idea. So yeah, this is going to be interesting. Is this going to badly affect the usage of the pump shotgun, for example? Is it going to make it lose its specialty? Or yeah, there's a lot of these updates. Like, so take for example, we just talked about the MP5, didn't we? There's the likes of the MP5 and the LR getting inbuilt burst modules, added fire mode toggle bind, burst module lowers aim cone slightly. Could that cure the issues we have with the MP5? There's a lot of potential things on the horizon. December is looking to be extra interesting for what potentially will be happening, for what potentially will be coming out. And then, of course, we have what we mentioned very, very early on, Armored Door and Double Armored Door going from 800 health to 1,000 health. I wanted to show this off at the very, very, very end, and I might do that again, but because it's relevant to what we're talking about now, yes, we're expecting a potential change for slugs, and it likely will affect the amount of usage the pump shotgun will have, along with all the other shotguns, but mostly the pump. And back, go on.
What we can do here is, just for a frame of reference, is I just looked at my combat log, and it was convenient that polar bear showed up. If you show where we engaged that bear,
yeah,
you stand back where you were. He was standing somewhere around here, I think. And for me, that was about 30 to 40 meters, and then he started running.
Polar bear.
And he ended up, and I think the body, or I'm not sure if we even killed him, but he was. I think he was up over here, roughly. And this is the 100-meter mark. This is on my combat log, just 103.8, 105.4. I landed 2 shots when he was up here. So this is 100 meters. This is a long way to be shooting that shotgun. And, well, I think that's sort of a reasonable change. Now, if you contrast that with real life, you get hit with a shotgun slug from no matter where you are, it's going to hurt just the same.
Did you feel that?
I didn't, because I have God mode on, so you won't unfortunately be able to see that in the combat log. But here, I'll turn it off. For the sake of the science of the stream, you go ahead and tag me again. Notice, ouch. Don't do it again. No, I'm going to die if you do.
All right, combat log. And one event in the past thingy. Oh wait, I think I have to wait a little bit. Alright. Combat log. Shotgun slug, leg. I did 30 damage to you. Is that correct?
Yeah, about right.
So from there, I did 30 damage. Might not be a lot in the grand scheme of things, but with a shotgun from that distance, yeah.
Now, I am wearing pants and boots, which give me a 25% reduction in
True.
So to be considered.
Yes.
But the range there was 70 meters. Okay, so I guess he was
68.2.
Than that. Yep.
So yeah.
That I really mostly it was less about demonstrating the damage potential of the shotgun and more about demonstrating the experience of shooting the gun at 70 meters, looking at the way the bullet drops and all that. After that, you're dealing with a lot of ballistic trajectory. You know, the shotgun round is going to fall as it continues to go out, and you have to compensate your point of aim for that. So just the practicality of using this at over distances of 80, 100 meters or more are a little unrealistic for a scenario like that. So while it is kind of, or actually very much OP right now, and that nerf is going to change its effectiveness at the longer ranges, I still think it's not gonna hurt it too badly, especially considering the buff it's getting for closer ranges. So in a more realistic scenario like contesting oil or a raid scenario, you know, ranges like this are where you really have to worry about its effectiveness. And to be quite honest, I think that was a good balance change. We'll see how it goes once they put it live, but it sounds sensible on paper to me.
Would you like to stand over there, Mr. MICRØ? We can show off Mr. Shedmon's pump shotgun. Fish pump shotgun. Where's the chips? Anyway, so let's get a good look at you, Mr. Fishy Fish. The fish collection. Cool. What was the last skin to be accepted out of this? This has been a while, hasn't it? Very popular in 2021, but hasn't really seen anything being accepted this year. In fact, I don't think we've even had anything accepted this year. That's taken me quite far back. We did have a bit of a rumble earlier during Complete the Sets week because we're pointing out, oh, hey, look, we could potentially see the fish kilt being accepted. And, well, it didn't appear, did it? So, oh, well. But we did show off the SAW. What was that, a week or two ago? Yeah, 2 weeks ago, I believe. And now we have a pump shotgun. But our pump shotgun's still going to be in demand, Mr. MICRØ. Especially after all of that talk. Oh no. Right. Cool looking stuff. Good job there, Mr. Shedmon. Right. We've got a M249 to show off, Mr. MICRØ.
Here, why don't I just put this on my back?
Oh, yeah.
For the sake of doing it, because...
One little fishy in a little dish. Sorry, you wouldn't know that. It was an advert. One little fishy in a little dishy.
Having worked on this model recently, I find it interesting that he removed some, but not all, of the wrapping on the stock. That's a cool design decision.
Oh,
and then on the other side of the stock, which sadly you can't see from the angle of having it on my back, but he's got like a fish bone, like a fish skeleton thing. It's kind of funny.
Where's that?
So why don't I see how if I could throw it on?
Oh, I see it. Ah, yeah, you put it in the darkness.
Oh.
There it is. Yeah, I see it now. Hey, that's fun. That's cool. All right, Mr. MICRØ, would you like to talk about a continuation of the Cold Hunter collection? Yes, gentlemen. Look at this big hunk of ice. Right, so there's one thing I wanted to quickly point out. We're just 1 week away from December. We're going to start seeing all of those cold, winter, festive, Arctic, polar, gingerbread, you name it type of skins. Festive Christmas snowman, all of those types of things. We're getting more cold skins coming out soon. So lots of focus will be on that, and why not start it off with a big old M249. We have
was good.
I can't talk when you see that. So,
Good.
MDE has decided to continue his Cold Hunter collection. We're potentially trying to get his M249 being accepted. Ooh, very shiny, very nice. So, like, what was it, 2 weeks ago we showed off a Cold Hunter double armored door? That didn't appear, but maybe that might be picked. We never know. But if not that, maybe this. So we've got a very nice, helpful red aim sight right there. And if I could just quickly go to the darkness, look up, look down, show the sides, nothing shiny, nothing glows. Back over to this side. Let's hop on top of this. And Mr. MICRØ, do you have your gloves on? Don't get too cold.
That's actually a good question. Is this thing frozen? Is it cold? I don't know.
Is it literally just made of ice?
Yeah.
But
Ice gun.
so
Does it shoot icicles?
is it? Yeah, don't kill me. I'm young and I don't want to die so young. Right, so cool looking design. Cold Hunter usually comfortably rises up in price as we get closer and closer to December time, peaking ever so nicely as we enter January time. This is a fairly well beloved collection. I wonder what he does next, because he did start to dabble into doing doors, but it seems like he only did the double armor door at the moment, and he's just a bit unsure. He also is the person who makes blackouts, so he's obviously shuffling between one and the other. So it's a bit awkward, but I don't know. Why are you wobbling? Are you cold?
No, I noticed that. No, I did notice that. There is actually and it's been fixed in Rust, but a while ago there was a bug in, I think, related to the way Unity processes world coordinates. But like the further you were from the center of the map, the more jitter there was when looking at.
This is what happens when he doesn't listen to me and wear the gloves. I told you it's cold.
Well, all I have are road sign gloves, and I don't think that's gonna make me any warmer.
It could, you never know. But let's just get a good look at this on the side. Mr. MDE, I like your collection. Looks very nice. I like this skin. Looks very nice. But what are you going to do next from here? It's still wobbling.
You know,
oh,
stay,
MICRØ.
Stay here. I'm gonna be right back. I just want to skin up a different M2 with the frost skin on it. Is that winter themed, or is that more like something else? I just can't remember. No, this is not. This is nothing. No resemblance at all to that. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, that wobbles too. Now you're just plain cold. Wrap up, you'll get a fever. So, let's see if this potentially gets accepted. I kind of get the feeling it's got a good chance, as I said. I think this is where we start to see all of the Christmas snowman, cold, winter, icy, gingerbread, Aurora Borealis, north type of skins, themed skins, you name it. I've been talking about it these past few weeks because of investments and whatnot. Yeah, so I would expect more of this to potentially appear. Is it going to be the M249, or are we potentially going to see the likes of the Cold Hunter double armor door, or maybe more skins potentially coming out? We've been seeing a lot of early picks being accepted. What's going to happen next week? We'll find out. So, M249 skins. Well, it's a bit of an awkward position now. How often do you actually get to use an M249? It's kind of like the L96. Not many of the skins, but in terms of actually getting the opportunity to pick one up and hold one, well, you better be good with it. Otherwise, if you die, you've lost it, and then you're probably not going to be able to skin it that much anymore. Yeah, they don't really hold their value, is what I'm saying. So it's something to be cautious of. But Cold Hunter collection, as I said, very comfortably rises up in price every December. It's a routine thing. Let's see what happens. Will this be accepted? Will that cause the other Cold Hunter skins to go up in price? I look forward to finding out. Mr. MICRØ, that is all of the weapon skins from the workshop. Shall we start discussing all of the deployables, more specifically, the garage doors? Shall we move on to that, Mr. MICRØ?
Let's do it.
Alright, I'm just going to boop this way. So, what is this? In the light. It's all goopy. It's all strange. Let's bring forth the light back as we slowly come to realise it's Sir Q's Quarantine Collection garage door. So, Is this like infection or something? It's a bit strange, but I like how it's kind of like leaking through. So like you got your comms here in the very middle, and this gunk is like just squeezing itself out of it. It's so shiny. Look at the detail there. Look at the lights. Look how it reflects. How it all stands out. Let us point out this is flat. This is a flat texture, but how it reflects the light and whatnot, all down to quality work by Mr. Cirque. I think he's done a very good job with that. Now, Quarantine Collection, it's had a few things accepted here and there. We saw the SAR being accepted not too long ago, but hasn't been that successful. We get the occasional skin here and there, but from what I see with this, it's looking really good. I'm sorry to sit here and say it, Mr. MICRØ, because I know we got your door after this, but you got some strong competition here, but with Cirque.
No, this week there was a whole list of amazing, well done garage doors. I think I'm up against a lot of competition. So,
but that all the more brings up the whole idea of Emilio Frito is probably going to be very successful with whatever deployable he decides to make, because that tempered garage door right there, beat this, and beat that. There's a lot of collections. There's a lot of very funny ideas being put. If you saw my workshop skin checks, you would have seen the weird caveman. But yeah, there was a lot of collections trying to push for a deployable skin this week. The tempered overcame all. But does this rule out all of these? No, we could still see these appearing over the course of the next few weeks. This week's AK skin being accepted only proves that we could potentially randomly see these appearing maybe in 2 months' time. Mr. Cirque, I think you've done a very good job here. It's a very nice looking garage door. Does it glow? Let's go take a real quick look. Mr. MICRØ.
have you ever seen the Matrix? Isn't there like some
No.
component of that where there's like a black slime that kind of like takes over? Maybe I forget I haven't seen the movies in a while, but I feel like that was part of that.
I've only seen one, and I don't remember it well. It wasn't for me, the series. Sorry. Is it the same on the other side? It's literally just flipped.
Yeah, garage doors share the same textures on both sides. They're reused.
Well, I think it looks cool.
There is some text on this, which I guess theoretically would be backwards on the back. No. I guess it's not mirrored. It's
quite literally flipped, not mirrored. Yeah. So, all good, all good. Mr. MICRØ, shall we move on to your garage door?
Well, it's not just mine. This is a collaboration again.
He did it all. It's all him. Screw you, Morphus.
Let's not forget about Mr. Morphus.
So,
mine.
Yes.
Another skin maker.
So, shall we get onto it? The weekly demonic raven glow in the dark check.
Yep.
Give it a good run, Mr. MICRØ. Run across. Can we see you in the night? Stand up first for this. So if we could see you walk across, there's his head. Yes. Now crouch across. Do we see his head? No.
Nope.
No.
You should be. You're still in your body, right? You're not using the camera view.
Because I wanted to
good representation of like what a player would see.
Yeah, this is what a player sees. Now, if I was up close in the view that we normally would, it's going to be easier to notice. So this was a mistake I made these past few weeks. I should have been looking from my own player model, because that's how everybody else is going to be looking at things. But yeah, Mr. MICRØ still making pretty demonic looking scary bird doors.
After we got the single sheet door, we did the double, and there's I won't go into all that. In fact, we talked about it like last week or two, but then we tried here with the garage door, and then we found ourselves in a flurry of garage doors, so we may have to take a break from this for a bit. But I guess I just wanted to point out that one of the things I tried to do when making this glow was really work in the idea of being able to navigate around the base. Like the glow gives you enough visibility of the item to where, and I'll also point out that with the roller, there is a little bit of glow on the roller too, so you can see that when it's rolled up at nighttime. But
Ooh, clever.
yep.
So Mr. Milio isn't the only one considering that.
No, we did the same thing, or well, a similar thing on the roller there, and it's meant to be subtle. You know, there's a lot of things in Rust which stand out and are very loud and highly visible, and I think that's cool, and I think a lot of other people think that's cool, but I do also appreciate an effort that gets put into making things a bit more tactical in their use or functional. And I think this does a good job of doing that in giving you the ability to hide your silhouette when passing in front of it. So that's all I can really say there. I think the only regret I have is not having it be like super bright and flashy and eye-catching, because that kind of draws people in. I feel like it from a distance it might look a little bit more plain, but that's the consequence or the trade-off in not having it be like giving you away at night.
What are you, a frog? Do you like catching flies? sorry.
I'm like hopping around here. I'm gonna hop over here and I'm gonna turn the light back on.
Thank you.
Just so you can see a little bit more of that texture
At night time.
at nighttime, if you want to take a look at that. There's a
cool.
nice little sheen on the metallic parts, and then it's got a little bit of depth to the, like, you know, the rivets and the chains and stuff. So I think Morphus did a great job with the modeling and texturing, and well, I mean, if people like it,
vote for it.
Go vote for it.
Yeah.
I mean, if
for all these skins, if you like what you've seen today from the workshop batch of skins, make sure you show your support. Make sure you go and vote. It's all they ask for. It's all they need. It's all you can really do, to be honest.
But don't just vote for me. Vote honestly. Vote earnestly. If you like these other garage doors, you know, like I certainly don't mean to persuade anybody to give me any favoritism here. I think it's all about what the players want and what the community wants, and well, it's a thrill to be involved. So,
shall we move on to? Oh,
yeah,
go on.
let's not dwell on this door too much. Let's show off the other garage door here.
So it's a continuation of the JPEG collection, Mr. GBG, and I believe, of course, Mr. Trigger as well. No, yes. I have wrote down the wrong name. I remembered it off by heart. It's definitely GBG that makes JPEG collection, isn't it? Yes, because it was his first skin to be accepted, and I've seen them all the way through. So, could you just quickly double check that? I believe I've accidentally wrote down the wrong name. But I know GBG is correct. So just to 100% make sure, just so I haven't gone crazy.
This is indeed GBG and
yes.
Trigger. I think that was just a copy paste error on the sheet here.
My apologies. So GBG, Mr. Trigger, they've been fairly successful this year with their JPEG collection. Recently, we saw, of course, we've seen the sheet metal door. Was it armored door or is it sheet metal door? No, it was a sheet metal door. Yes, that's it. Sheet metal door was accepted. Sold fairly nicely. Still doing... Oh, what's this? What's going on here?
Just a bit of point of comparison.
Oh,
the derivation.
So
of the
yes.
design there.
So JPEG isn't so much like a texture, but it's like a gimmick, I guess you could say. Remember low poly? Remember pixel? You know, it's kind of promoting the gimmick of a style rather than a texture, if you get what I mean. Like, go take a look at these two over here. They have themes and a texture and whatnot. But this is quite literally a parody. I guess you could say a parody or an homage. Look to your right, look to your left.
Interpretation, maybe?
Yeah, interpretation, probably the best way of putting it. It's quite literally the same thing, but in its own style. And people do like it. They have sold well. And yeah, it's as simple as that. Does it glow? Let's go take a look. No! No, it doesn't. Neither. Yeah, neither of them do. So, well, of course. If the original one don't, I don't think the JPEG one would either. Unless they can somehow make the glow JPEGy. So,
yeah, that's an interesting thought.
That would be a fun thing.
Maybe if they did maybe if they put a glow, but then gave it like a posterized effect where you're restricting the color palette or something like that. That could be a clever attempt at extending that concept, but might be a little hard to implement.
Are you giving your competition ideas, MICRØ?
Hey, I don't, I don't really view it as competition. I view it as a bunch of people that are all looking to contribute to a game we love. And, if someone has an idea for a door and then someone else has another door the same week, it's hard. It's RNG. It's really difficult to predict this stuff with so many great artists working in the workshop and only so many skinnable items in the game. You're guaranteed to have those overlaps. And so, if I can help someone come up with an idea or give them suggestions, I'm more than happy to. Just
That's very generous of you, Mr. MICRØ.
yeah.
So, I believe...
Good luck to all the skid makers out there.
Yeah. Give him a kiss, why don't you? Give him a wave, Mr. MICRØ. He's here to support you the best he can. Well, we're both are. We're showing off everything. We're trying to make sure everybody gets a good idea, a good eye of all of these new potential skins. We want to help out. We want to show people what potentially is coming out. I, as the more of the investor, likes to point out what would be good if this gets accepted. Is it going to have a great future ahead of it? Should we start speculating? Should we start anticipating? You get the idea. Mr. MICRØ, with his vast knowledge, not only as a skin creator, but also someone who has played Rust for God knows how long.
way too much.
So, yeah.
There is such a thing. I don't know. I would classify myself as a degenerate. In
Well,
Rust sense.
I mean, if you want to call yourself that.
I'm proud of it. I wear that badge with honor.
So, thank you very much today, Mr. MICRØ. I think I'm going to end this with the logs once more, the logs that we've seen. So, gentlemen, you really do need to put an effort in and keep an eye on these Rust commit logs. We are seeing a lot of potential updates coming out that will be appearing this December wipe day, which is, of course, next week. We're seeing slugs getting nerfed. We can't fully figure that out just yet until we actually have it in the game. Seems more like a trade-off, not really a nerf. Yes, you can't really snipe with it anymore, but it's getting much stronger within a closer area. Then, of course, we've mentioned how the armored door and the double armored door will be getting a buff in terms of more health. Will this help give it more? Will we see more demand for armored doors compared to the garage door now that it's got a whole lot more HP? Potentially. Let's see how that plays out. And of course, with more demand to use certain items leads to more demand to use their skins, which of course equals higher skin prices. And that's where we end with this note right here. Are we potentially going to be seeing a lot more people interested in using MP5s and LR300s? Increased demand equals increased demand to use the skins. And as I said it, increased potential profits, increased skin prices. So there is a deer, and we will destroy him because he's ruining my end speech.
I actually went to go try to dispose of him, and then he ran away from me, and now he's being a jerk.
Why can't they allow themselves to be destroyed? So, Mr. MICRØ, where have you gone? One final goodbye to you. Where's he go? He's disappeared. He's vanished.
I chased the deer away, but I'm flying back right now. I'm gonna drop in for a little goodbye here.
Yes, super MICRØ.
When we were prepping for the stream here, Hedge, you mentioned you wanted to sort of touch on that commit log, and I said, let's kind of keep it to stuff that affects the investment side of things, but I do think that you have good advice that players should definitely keep their eyes on that for all the stuff that's coming. I mean, there's the smaller aspect, which is like those direct and specific events that affect skin prices. Then we also do have to look and consider the overall player base, and there are a ton of changes coming. I mean, between the pet system, the clan system, server transfers, the crafting stuff, like the industrial crafter, the electric furnace, there's gun racks coming, there's actually some events that look like they're underway developing for Christmas, like sort of like they had for Halloween with the tunnels and whatnot. I mean, there's just so much that it can be sort of interpreted or derived from that commit log that could influence the overall appeal of the game. I mean, think about how different that is, the server transfer concept and the clan system and even the pets. Like, I feel like that's gonna continue breathing life into the game and continue keeping the population up and even drawing in more people over time as they expand that. So I'm really looking forward to all those changes, and I'm very optimistic about the effect that that's going to have long term for the game. So all you guys out there, I would encourage you to keep your eyes on that commit log, because not only do we see the big overall structural changes to the game, but we do see these little tidbits about, as Hedge mentioned, the changes to the shotgun slugs. Sorry, I'm tripping over my words. And the shotgun slugs, you know, the burst module, and the way the MP5 and LR are going to have relation to that. So, yeah, lots of cool information there, and definitely another valuable resource for investors to consult with when planning out their long-term vision for how things are going to be. So.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. MICRØ. Yeah, there's quite a lot to talk about there, but lots of interesting things potentially appearing. MICRØ, thank you once more. Chat, thank you for being alive over there. I'm sure people have been enjoying reading the many silly things you've been saying to the side, and I'm very sorry about the phishing scams going on, but that's Twitch as a whole at the moment. It's very unfortunate. Yep. So be cautious, always report those bots, and we can help each other out. So thank you all, and have a lovely day.